Good morning, everyone. Here we are on day 20 of our plank challenge, and we are up to 3 minutes. While I'm talking, I'll go ahead and set my alarm this time. I always forget to set the timer before we get started. So today I wanted to talk about, this is the kind of the biggest thing that I worked with as I was starting on eating better and thinking better and feeling better. It was, the way I refer to it now, I call it, which way are you looking? And I grew up in a family that had a tendency to look at everything that was wrong in life. There wasn't a lot of positive reinforcement. There wasn't a lot of focus on things that were going good. Mostly my experience of growing up was to be corrected. It was never to be praised, it was always to be corrected. And that permeated my own thinking, in that I was always looking at what around me I could correct. And I believe that it was a function of, if I can fix all the things around me that are wrong, then everything will be better. And it didn't occur to me, or actually a friend of mine told me about a book, Ponte, called Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. And at the same time I had seen The Secret. And so these ideas were presented of looking at what's going right and putting your attention there. So instead of constantly thinking, I'm late for work and the traffic is bad, or people are always rude, or, honestly, right now I can't even come up with the list of negative things. But when you look around and just things aren't working out right, I always thought you had to focus on that. The idea that you could focus on what was working in your life had never occurred to me. So I would say that was one of the first things that put me on this step towards just I've been working on being happy, and it's still something I really struggle with. And changing that simple step of changing my focus, of looking at what's going wrong to looking at what's going right, had a dramatic effect on how I felt. I had a lot of anxiety. I still have stress and anxiety. Nothing is a panacea, but I have good moments too, and I can really appreciate the good around me. And now I've actually trained my brain to look for more of what is right. And I do this when I'm stuck in traffic. I think, I just use that as a time to breathe. I don't go crazy about traffic around me. There's nothing you can do about that, so why let it stress you out? I actually, use it as a time to relax. I just make sure I express appreciation when something good's happen. I just moved into this apartment in December, and pretty much every time I walk in the door, I'm like, I love my apartment! And I certainly haven't felt that way, in a very long time. So today, as you go about your day, focus on what's working, focus on the things that you're grateful for, focus on what's going right, and just notice if you feel more at ease, if more of things going right come your way. I just, again, everything's an experiment. Everything you kind of have, you learn about all these tools, but unless you put them in place and practice them, they don't do you any good. I've read plenty of personal growth books and haven't done the exercise, so I know the concepts. This was one piece that I put into practice and take it very seriously. And when I listen to podcasts or interviews with really successful people, there's two things that they mention when asked what are the biggest needle movers for getting the life you want. One is meditation, and the other is a gratitude practice. So just things to consider as you're I think of nutrition as just one step on a vast path to overall health. It's just, to me, having a solid nutritional core makes finding those other exercises and experiences are a little easier to deal with. All right, so with that, let's get to our 3 minutes of plank. Okay, let's see here. Let me move my camera down here. Remember, this is all about form. Right now, I start up off my knees, meaning I'm up on my toes, and I will go as long as I can with my knees up in proper form. Eventually, I start feeling the tension going up my neck, so that's when I put my knees down and then just focus really on what's left. But while my knees are up, I'm making sure my head is in line with my spine. I'm lifting through my shoulders, my ribs are in, my core is engaged, my quads are engaged, and my heels are pulling back. And I'm breathing. I always forget the breathing part. All right, here we go, kids. You ready? 3 minutes. So yesterday was a rest day. We have just over a week left to get up to 4 minutes. I definitely am feeling stronger, better posture. Engage my quads, push my heels back, lift, engage my shoulders, tuck my ribs, tuck my tailbone. I find this easier to do on the yoga mat because my feet slip. 2 minutes. Press evenly through both arms. 130. All right, there go the knees. Now I just refocus on everything else. Really squeeze through my core, push with my hands, and lift. One minute. Engage, make sure you're not slumping. Keep your head in line with your spine. "30 seconds. Really squeeze, engage. 15 seconds. Oh, I think I see a muscle. And 1. Whew. Okay, yeah, you'd think that wasn't so hard, but I'm sweating. It helps that I have the heat on too. I really like to have the house warm in the morning. It gets me going. So how did that feel? I am really liking the fact that I can stand up a lot easier, that I feel strength in just how I move my body in the world. And that's really why I'm doing this. Again, I'm seeing a lot of the pain, the chronic pain that I have in my forearms is going away, whether it's attributed to this or some of the other work I've been doing, I have no idea. I'm just so thankful to be in less pain than I have been in the last year and a half or so. So yeah, comment below and share your experience. I'd love to know whether you're finding standing up or sitting at your desk, if that's easier, if moving through the world is easier, if you're not noticing anything at all. I'd love to hear that. Or if you're just struggling getting going with the motivation that you said you wanted to do the challenge at the beginning of the month, and here we are, almost 3 weeks in, and maybe you just lost the motivation. So feel free to comment on that, and just share your experience. I think we all get very helped when we hear other people's experience and know that we're not alone in this. So just a reminder to grab my 7-day Reclaim Your Energy Challenge. It incorporates like being conscious about what you're eating, conscious about stress reduction, conscious about adding movement into your life, and just noticing that there's ways to do this when, I work a full-time job, I have bookkeeping clients, I have my nutritional coaching practice, so I have to figure out how to do this in ways that fit into my schedule. And I know I'm not the only one who is overbooked. So grab the challenge. I'll put a link below. Comment with your, where you are in the challenge, and if you need any support with it. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 21. All right, have a good Monday.